Hello everyone, today in this video we will discuss about the various aspects of sole proprietorship, including the meaning of sole proprietorship, the procedure to establish a sole proprietorship business in India, the documents required for registration and the post-incorporation compliances. So starting with the meaning of sole proprietorship. Sole proprietorship is basically a type of unregistered business entity where a single person owns, manage and control the whole business. The majority of unorganized sector constitutes of micro and small firms and they prefer to register as a sole proprietor. Entrepreneurs wishing to start a small firm with few clients can consider forming a proprietorship firm. So under sole proprietorship, a single person owns the whole business and the said business does not have any legal recognition. There is no separate legal entity, thus the business and the owner are the one and the same. However, the proprietor has unlimited liability and in the event of excessive losses, the owner would be liable to pay off the same from his personal assets as well. Now having discussed about the meaning of sole proprietorship, we now come on to the procedure for establishing a proprietorship business in India. In India, there are no formalities or registration requirement as to forming a proprietorship firm. However, it is important to obtain a state government issued business license in order to establish a sole proprietorship business. Furthermore, where the proprietor's business name is unique, it is a good idea to register a trademark in respect of the same. Now for the business license, the applicant is required to comprehend with the regulatory structure that surrounds the activity in which the business is looking to engage in and secure the requisite permissions from the respective local, state and central government authorities. Next we come to the tax registration. The proprietor is required to get a tax registration from the appropriate tax authorities which depends upon the business in which they are going. Apart from this, there are other legal requirements as to obtaining registration under GST, profession tax and ESI or PF registration. Now, in order to incorporate a sole proprietorship entity, the applicant must be in receipt of certain documents. Some of these documents are as follows. First of all, the ID proof of the applicant for which they can provide their Aadhaar card or their PAN card. Next one is the proof of place of business. For this, the applicant can provide the sale deed or the rent agreement, or they can also provide any of the utility bill, that can be their electricity bill or water bill. Then comes the details of the bank account which shall be opened in the name of the sole proprietor. For this, the applicant can provide the latest bank statement or a cancelled check. And last is the passport size photograph of the applicant. So now having discussed about the documents required for registration, we now come on to the registration process of a sole proprietor firm. So the procedure is, firstly, the applicant is required to apply for the PAN card in the name of the sole proprietor. After obtaining a PAN card, the next step is to choose a name for the sole proprietorship business. After this, the next step is to open a bank account in the name of the said business. However, it is to be noted that all the transactions of the business shall be routed through this bank account only. Though no specific registration is required for starting a sole proprietorship business, certain basic registrations are required to be obtained for doing business. So some of these basic registrations that are required by a sole proprietorship business are, first of all, the proprietor need to obtain registration certificate under the Shops and Establishment Act of the state in which the business is located. The sole proprietorship should be also registered under GST where their business turnover tends to exceed Rs 20 lakhs in a particular financial year. Apart from this, the sole proprietorship can also register as a small and medium enterprise under the MSME Act, though it is not mandatory. It is beneficial to be registered under the same. Now having discussed about major aspects of sole proprietorship, we now come to the post-incorporation compliances of a sole proprietorship firm. So the proprietorships, just like LLPs and private limited companies, are required to file income tax return at the end of the relevant financial year. Because the proprietor and the proprietorship firm are same, a single income tax return is required to be filed in respect of the owner and the business. Next comes the audit of the proprietor business. So in case the total sales of the sole proprietor business exceed Rs 1 crore or Rs 10 crore in certain circumstances, In a particular financial year, a proprietorship firm would be required to undergo tax audit. However, in case of a professional business, an audit would be required where their total gross receipts exceed rupees 50 lakhs in a financial year. So this was all about sole proprietorship business in India. In case you have any query or any doubt regarding the same, contact Rajput, Jain and Associates. Thank you.